In the name of Yahweh, all praise to Yahweh.
All praise to
Yahweh.
Yahweh, we are in love with you. We serve you. We love you. We appreciate all the breath that you secure. We appreciate every bite of food that we take. We appreciate all the clothes that you give us, the cars, the mansions, the Scotties, the jets, the skis. If we want to go to Aspen, we appreciate the resorts, the golf equipment to play with Michael Jordan. We appreciate all of that. Thank you, Yahweh. And we're not just going to sit up and just take that stuff, but we're going to actually serve you by coming down into the inner earth and being custodians over the computer and making sure that you run correctly for this next agreeable cycle.
Praise Yahweh.
Amen.
Yes.
Praise Yahweh.
Amen.
Amen. Praise Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh.
Quick recap, everybody did good. Like, so we set a time for like 7 to meet. I know everybody could like 5-10 minutes, you know, you got to get situated, and that's understandable because I wasn't ready at 7 either. By 7:30, you know, everybody should be on the call that's going to be there. And like I said last week, we all grown men. I bet you if a chick calls, say, hey, come get this pussy in 10 minutes, you'll be there. You're going to be on time for that shit.
Colonel Sanders is a slave master. They say niggas love chicken, right? Come on down and get a box.
Drop it.
Chicken and watermelon.
Think about it. A slave owner wants more slaves, and so he goes for what the slaves like, chicken. So it makes sense.
That's deep.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Go on down and get your nigga box on Sunday.
And you know what? Hey, but I will say this, is that unless we develop like fucking abilities like Superman, getting to Yahweh, we gotta be very rich. Unless you have a small army or something, you can't just go over there and start doing what the fuck you want to do. You know, there are already kingdoms established. England, America, I mean, big corporations established. They already got stakes on that land over there. And they only got stakes on the surface of the land. So imagine you trying to go down and, you know, make contact with the Nordics who really don't want to fuck with nobody no way. You got to be a heavy fucking hitter. You know what I'm saying? Without further time passing, let's open the floor for the powerful brother, the wizard, therapist code name, blood minister, Ty. Bring him to the stage. Everyone give him a round of applause.
Yo, brother.
Time, let's get it.
Thank you very much.
Drop those jewels.
All right, I'd like to start this talk in the name of IAUE. And of course, thank you, Black Messiah, for setting the stage for me. Praise Yahweh. Things have just been kind of progressively beginning more to feeling like I'm in a dream, which essentially kind of are. You wake up from a dream. When you're in that dream, I'm sure you've already heard this, it feels like you're actually there. You're experiencing it, and who's to say a dream isn't something that you experience, which is just what essentially life is. The lines already get kind of blurred there. I'm always feeling like as the time comes, it's just going to be a complete dream. BM has said something like this before, like we're just going to be manifesting dreams or something like that. He said a while back we need to start remembering dreams, which is important, but at the same time we need to start being more conscious how we dream and like how we start to apply these things to our lives. I've been talking about Yahweh to some people, which is something I don't normally do. And it's funny because like I talked to this one dude who I didn't even think knew would like be okay with the information. And I told him about the name of IAUE and how it's like all vowels. And he started going off. I can't find a word without a vowel because he's a music maker. He's really good with notes on like guitar and shit. He would try to make really fast metal shit, but he's also very good with words. And he was telling me he was interested by it. You use vowels to make every single word. You can't find a word without a vowel. And then he not only found that there was not a word that you can't find in English without a vowel, but it's every language. Every language.
Wow.
The noise. IAUE. And then I started thinking about that, but I was thinking that's just another manifestation of how you look at a tree. It all comes from the same place. Branches out, branches out, branches out forever. And the base IAUE is just further proof how we all came from source, manifesting through the way we make noises to communicate, like vibration. I've had a couple of trips. You focus on that like pattern, which is straight up just getting in touch with Yahweh, and you'd start to see dreams manifest like right before your eyes. I was trying to think of something to say earlier. Everything I just said now was kind of something that happened recently and just spur of the moment, but I felt like it needed to be said. Like I've never really vocalized it, but this is something that I've also had kind of pre-planned. This is the intestine difference between herbivores and carnivores. You see right here, this is a coyote. This is the intestines. Small intestine is like the very long one, but it's like very thin. And this one that comes out, it's that large intestine. It's like a small little hangy thing right here. And then over here, this is a koala, small intestine. It's got this weird kind of, you know, spiral, but also pay attention to that geometry. That's important.
Right, of course.
But,
we know what that is.
Yeah, of course. Creation. Thick, that thick, super long intestine, right? Boom, this is the human right here, right? And look at that thick one, right? The longness of that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's biological proof that we are more closely related to herbivores with that long, thick intestine. When I actually looked up this image on the search, and it straight up says Yahweh on the fucking search on the second result.
What?
That was one of the first reasons I got into veganism. I realized that biologically, I'm an herbivore. Changed my habits, problem's gone. When I first started getting into things like fasting, it's pretty intense stuff. Not anything I've reached yet, something I aspire to, but in any case, I'm gonna drop a little knowledge on that because it's pretty vital. Your body goes through 3 stages of working through foods in your stomach, right? It goes through sugars, carbohydrates, and then I think it's proteins. So, you know, a lot of sugar addicts, they'll be eating sugar all the time as that constant drive. You know, it's that quick energy source. Carbohydrates, all the bread you eat, and then of course the proteins. The savages, they get the meat. You know, normal vegans, they get their beans and everything like that. So that first wave of hunger that you feel after you eat a complete meal of all of those, the sugars burn down, you start to feel a little bit hungry, that first hunger wave, and you start to get like, oh, you know, I see something to eat. You fight past that, then you go into the carbohydrates. You have that same thing, except like a little bit harder this time. And then when you hit the fats, no, that was the last one, carbohydrates and fats. Once you hit the fats, that's the slowest burning one. After that, that's when you hit pretty much the end of the cycle. And that was kind of something I wanted to integrate into this talk, was like cycles. And that's when you hit essentially fasting state, you start drinking water. You got to think about how that affects people, because a lot of people, some people don't get carbohydrates, so they go straight from sugar to fat, and they'll get twice that hit. It's like changing gears in a car. You're going to hit way harder, and it's going to feel twice as worse. So you see a lot of people like sugar addicts and stuff will be constantly switching gears, and it's like terrible for your car. You know what I'm saying? If you're switching gears when you don't need to be. We need to be in touch with our cycles in terms of like our body so that we can best perform.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
We just need to make sure we're diligent on what we're putting inside our vessel. We want to treat our like mechanisms properly, start to understand the functions. If you ever go through a fasting state, there's 3 waves of hunger. After you do that, just down water, fill the stomach, and like just go through it, ask Yahweh for help. You can manifest greatly through like fasting states. It's hard, but it'll help you. Some of the best times I think I've ever had is when I'm so enveloped in what I'm doing that food is not even a thought in my mind.
Right, exactly.
Like completely nourished by something else.
Yeah. Something
Like,
else. Something else.
Other than consuming.
That's right.
But essentially what I'm trying to get at though is like we want to be electrical signal beings. So once we start going through those 3 cycles, we keep it empty, we drink water, and we start letting our body eat away at the excess fat in our body, and we start becoming lighter and purer. Signals will come and go better. We'll be able to snap and like have more precision. In order to properly do that, we need organic foods, non-GMO foods, good water, good air. And even access to that is hard. I can't even get that myself at this moment in time. But our goal is to like have access for that for every person. Okay, you just literally take your hands, rub them together, you clap, and just to kind of activate the skin, you take them apart and you kind of like move it as if you were moving a ball. You can make it bigger. It takes
You can feel the energy moving around.
Essentially, you can go big, but
Right.
once you start feeling the heat, it's like you're pushing it. You're not strong enough yet. You know, you gotta stay like in your boundary. But then you can work it into yourself and like will it wherever you want, just using your mind. You have to exert that energy. That's why I say slap. and
That's right.
rub because you're activating your blood vessels and shit.
See, that's what Mr. Miyagi would do every time he would heal Karate Kid. He would slap his hands together first. Remember that? King Justice.
Oh,
you remember
shit.
that?
Yeah, I think
like
he's
that.
right. Yeah,
That's
bro.
funny.
I remember that one.
I would do that, boom, when I'm on my board on my way to like fucking Target to go like to work, whatever. I'd feel like weird pains in my like legs and shit. So I'd make a little ball, hold it for a little bit, throw it in, down, up, and then I'd be like, all right, good.
Okay, check it out. Mr. Ty, I want to ask you something. Remember
Yo.
you were saying when you were speaking, you said that sometimes when you use certain states, you actually see the materialization. You were saying you see vibrations, and then you would see those vibrations form into actual shapes.
You want to know exactly what I saw? I was looking at a tree,
All right, go ahead.
and I was looking at the pattern automatically. Like it's like one of the best things to look at because it's got such good geometry. The fractals are always on point, no matter what tree you look at. Branches were coming out, like appearing out of nowhere and going in and then out of reality.
Oh my God.
Across the street,
Yahweh,
up
Yahweh.
and, you're connected straight to the source. You know what I'm saying? It's going everywhere, in and out.
In and out. That's right. I've seen that before. Wow. Okay, everybody, let's get up, brother. Round of applause.
Yeah, brother,
Let's
dropping
clap
that wisdom.
That's powerful. Mr. Ty, let's go ahead and close out in prayer.
In the name of IAUE, you gave us everything. All we had was our light from Mother, and then you gave us all of this. We have so much experience to learn from. We have so much to do, and we all have you to thank for it. How could you ask for anything more? And all I want to say is without IAUE right now, this moment would have no meaning at all. So all praises to IAUE.
All praise to Yahweh.
All praise to Yahweh. Yes.
All praises to Yahweh.
Baruch.
Baruch Yahweh. Some more
Adonai
Yahweh.
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 Yahweh.